I'm still sitting there with them.
I think we'll be okay.
Oh, she's here.
Yeah.
We're gonna have that discussion if you wanna take a mental note.
Good, how are you?
We'll have that
Doing pretty
actual
well, thanks.
discussion.
Wondering if we're gonna have a quorum here.
Yeah.
So-
Well, we've got a few minutes yet.
Yeah,
This year.
yeah, we got
This year
5
we're
minutes.
It's
on
gonna go on
straight
6
out.
minutes.
Yeah,
But,
7 minutes, so.
There's
Hi, Teresa. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
I used to have
There was stuff the last minute. This is just a report of all of the.
My wife actually used to
We have like
take
24.
11 for one fund.
And then I had some trees.
Probably just.
Trees back, but then they would still get up there. They were like fighting up there. It was like 2 in the morning.
Right.
Their things on their little eyes like staring at me.
You ready?
I shot one of them.
You can raise that, and I think
Then
Logan
they
will
both
probably
flew down.
address
They
that.
never looked
Yes.
back. So I was like, okay,
Thank you.
that's the one thing. Right?
This is what's up January.
That's one of mine.
Starts with a J, right?
They're very
I just told them, you know, like.
My other daughter's birthday's too.
So I had to, I kept researching like what to use.
All right, good evening, everybody. Public Service Committee meeting this evening at City Hall Chambers, Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024. It's a little after 6. Roll call, please.
Alderman Sherry Pickering,
Here.
Eve Ludwig,
Present.
Tricia Teague,
Present.
Robert Williams,
Present.
Darren York,
Here.
John Cooper,
Here.
Chairman Rick Strebe,
Here.
7 present.
7 present, thank you. Now we have the approval for the minutes of 6:25 of 24. I'll need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any questions on the minutes for 6:25? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, thank you. Moves us to approval of the agenda. We have an agenda in front of you this evening, and the mayor's gonna talk, on item of information, about the, compensation administration guide. This is a draft, and it's just for discussion this evening. I don't think there's any other changes to, that this evening, except, I think, item number 3, under, Police Chief Yates, the uniform crime reporting, I think is gonna be held up. He's gonna do that at a full council meeting instead of doing it this evening. He didn't have everything in, so he's gonna do that next month, so. With that, I'll need a motion and a second to approve the agenda as given to you this evening.
So moved.
Second.
Any, questions on the agenda? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, thank you. Puts us to audience comments. Do we have anything this evening?
I haven't received any cards. Did anyone wish to speak this evening? Okay, evidently not.
Okay. And chairman's comments. I don't have anything to say. Number 6, approval of payrolls for 7/19 of 24. I'll make the motion to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for approval. I'll need a second, please.
Second.
Is there any questions on the payrolls for 7/19 of 24? If not, roll call, please.
Alderman Cooper,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Strebe,
Yes.
7 yes.
Yes, thank you. The motion carries. Puts us to approval of vouchers payables. We have a regular run for 7/23 of 24. We have a special run for 7/22 of 24, and a special run for 7/23 of 24. I'll make the motion to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for approval. I will need a second, please.
Second.
Is there any questions on the vouchers payables?
There's
Yes.
one, go ahead.
You go ahead.
Go.
No, you go.
No, after you.
I have to
Vice
find
Mayor.
mine.
Alderman Cooper, go ahead.
211 National, what are we doing with that? I think
Yeah, that is for a slow attrition of property acquisition for the stormwater drainage there.
okay, because that's different than the other neighborhoods, so.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that was funded through 402, so it's sewer and stormwater planning. It's going to be a long-term play. You won't see a lot of these acquisitions throughout, it'll be a several-year project.
Okay,
Is that all we have?
yeah,
Coop?
yeah.
Vice Mayor?
So I have notes in a different version. I can't pull it up. There were 2 transactions that were for end of internship, and I was just wondering why those. I'm assuming that they were getting paid. Yes, they are on page one of the accounts payable. And I was assuming that they were getting paid with payroll. I was just wondering why they weren't with payroll, on this cycle.
I'm sorry, you said page 1?
It's page 1 of the checks. Or I guess it's page 2 if you count the distribution page.
I'm sorry, where is it at on the page?
Towards the bottom, they both in the memos or in the description say internship completed. One is for Brianna Stubbs and the other one is for Liliana Dowers. I'm not questioning the checks. I'm just questioning if I'm assuming they're employees who are our interns and wondering why they weren't with payroll while they were separate.
I'm sorry, Vice Mayor, I may be looking at the wrong. Oh, go ahead, Chief.
Those were a couple interns that we had. It was in partnership with VVEDS at DACC. And the conditions of the internship turned out to be different than what was expected. And we had to suspend the internship at no fault of the interns until we can go further. That's why. And it was entered almost like a PO, I believe.
Okay.
So I can look into that further and give you a holler on that.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
that's what it was, and I apologize, I didn't hear it. It didn't register right away.
That's okay.
Okay.
The other question I have is concerning, I don't know, maybe there was a typo or missed or something, was concerning the downtown parking study, why there are 2 checks, but one of them is for 1 cent. It's on the next page. So the one that's 1 cent is about 2/3 of the page down. Just seems odd for a check to be for 1 penny. I'm just now seeing the other one, so maybe, I don't know, something was missed. I'm just wondering why we had a 1 cent check.
I don't see that. I don't know why that is. I couldn't begin.
They both say there's 2 for WGI Inc. They both say downtown parking study. One of them is I'm assuming check number 150473. There's another one on the same page, also 150473. Maybe they're different.
It sounded like you read the same check number, so it sounds like they're just split out to 2 different line items.
Well, maybe, because one is for a penny, which is odd for a line item to be a penny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't, I'll be honest, I couldn't tell you. Comptroller is out this evening.
Oh, right there.
Comptroller Massey is out this evening, so I'm not certain.
What departments? One is under other contractual.
But I can get back to you.
The other one is under professional services. So they're the same check number, obviously. So one is for $1,061.59.
I don't know. But we can get back with you
Yeah,
on that.
we'll get back with you. I'll look into why. I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you. Those are the only questions I have.
Ms. Ludwig, go ahead.
Mine is on page 2. It's the invoice description. Let me see if I can find the room. I just lost it. Annual commitment to VC unmet needs, and that's $5,000. Is that what we give every year? Is that our annual commitment is $5,000 every year?
That's the budget. That's the budgeted amount. Yes.
Okay.
So this is the committee in our community, and Administrator Finch is a part of this, where basically there are no other entities that do the kind of work or provide the services that they need. People can appeal there. There's a committee for it. The committee votes on whether or not they're able to assist the person. They assess need. They ask for like proof of income and things like that. But yes, that's the
So it's
annual
just
allocation.
$5,000. Okay, thank you.
Is there any other questions on the vouchers payables? If not, roll call, please.
Vice Chairman Pickering,
Yes.
Alderman Ludwig,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Cooper.
Yes.
Streebing,
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes, the motion carries. Puts us to the city clerk's report. Lisa Munson, items of information.
Thank you, Chairman. All I have to this evening is we will be going live on the business licensing software with CitizenServe on August 5th. And we are awaiting the next supplement for the Code of Ordinance. Hopefully I'll be getting that within the next 2 weeks, so the entire Code of Ordinances will be updated. Been waiting on that for quite a while, so.
Is there any questions for Ms. Munson? If not, thank you.
Thank you.
Puts us to community relations. Renee Aldis, Administrator. Items of information, her monthly report.
Hi, everyone. I don't really have too much that's like a big update. The big thing that you'll see, though, is we have an upcoming app. It was tied to the website, so it was something we were able to get as an addition that ended up being a little bit cheaper. So the app will kind of give some features that might not translate as well if you're looking on the website on your phone to using the app. Other than that, I just want to give out a reminder that we have the Neighborhood Association matching grant. At this time, I've only received one application. We would really, really love to see some more applications come in here soon, because I don't want to grant one application and, you know, spend it all without seeing everybody else's. So just a reminder on that. And then lastly, we have Taste and Style of Danville. That's coming up on August 2nd, so next first Friday. We're going to have a fashion show. We have over 8 food trucks signed up, yard games. We have a band. It should be a good time, so come on out.
Is there any questions? Yes, Vice Mayor.
Have we sent, I'm assuming the answer is yes, but I don't like to make assumptions. Have we sent anything to the neighborhood associations about the grant?
Yes, ma'am. I sent out, we did it at the Neighborhood Association breakfast. Ashton mentioned it there. I know she sent out an email. I just recently sent one out to all of the, are they called presidents? Correct? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I sent out an email to all of the presidents to just send them a quick reminder too. I also just posted on Facebook again to hopefully get a fresh reminder in there.
And I haven't looked at the application. I don't know what it entails. Have we provided, let me back up. I know that when the state has grants that are available, they typically have some sort of like Q&A or technical assistance session or something where people can ask questions and get help, because I know a lot of times when it comes to paperwork, people are intimidated. So have we had any sort of Q&A session or anything like that, or even just to say, hey, if you want to come meet with me to talk about it, have we been offering that?
Yes, when I sent out those emails, I also included a line in there, like, if you have questions, if you have concerns, if you just want to talk to me about your grant, like, please just let me know. I've done 3 meetings now, I believe, with some other different wards and talking to them about their grant. So hopefully we'll see a couple more. But yes, please just reach out to me. Have your president reach out to me. If you're not the president, I'm more than happy to come speak to your neighborhood association as a group and even as an individual.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Puts us to finance. We have a 10A, we have a resolution approving a 3-year agreement with Velocity EHS for safety training compliance software and authorizing the budget amendment to the fiscal year 2024 through 2025 finance number 11 budget. I'll make the motion to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for your approval. I will need a second, please.
Second.
Is there any questions on 10A's resolution?
Is this a mandate?
It's not a mandate. What it does is it provides actual online training so that I'm not spending all of Monday and part of Tuesday doing nothing but safety training every week for new hire orientation. And it also does compliance for the annual trainings that we have, such as it does everything from the sexual harassment to bloodborne pathogens. It does a wide variety of it. It also provides a chemical management portion of it where, because one of the biggest, or one of the top ones that is normally cited is not having a chemical management program where an employee can go in and access any chemical that may be in their area or that they're working with and pull up the safety data sheet. And so what this is, it's set up so that we have key people that in different departments that are able to then plug in if they get new chemicals within their area. They're able to then plug that in so that that is compliant with that. All of our different areas use it, every from the police department, fire department, public works, The other thing that we are kind of mandated to do is to provide like things like tool time talks. It's a weekly thing. And so one of the things that this does is it provides an extensive library of just little videos. They're short videos, but it's reminders to the employees, you know, hey, these are things that you need to remember, you know, especially like when, and they try to kind of gear it towards what's coming up. So like if we know we're having a heat wave come in, so then they would do the reminder of these are the things that you need to watch for heat safety, things of that nature. So it's kind of, it's what they're doing over there in Public Works, but then again, it's also what I also do with when we're doing that new hire orientation and then the annual safety training.
And it's a 3-year obligation?
Yes. Yeah. We just actually finished our previous 3 years.
Was this bidded out? Do you bid this out, or we just stay with the same company? Or?
Well, the problem is there's very few that can provide not only the chemical management portion of it, but then also the extensive library. I've looked at other ones to see if they're compatible or comparable, and it's very difficult to find.
That's it. Alderman Cooper, anybody else got a question? If not, roll call, please.
Alderman Ludwig?
Yes.
Teague?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
York?
Yes.
Cooper?
Yes.
Pickering?
Yes.
Streebing?
Yes.
7 yes.
Yes, the motion carries. Puts us to 10B, items of information, risk management monthly report, personnel monthly report, and the administrative compensation guide. So, there we go.
Does anyone have any questions about the risk management or the personnel reports? All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Mrs. Corson. The compensation administration guide you do have before you. I know that Alderman Cooper and Vice Mayor Teague had asked that we bring this again to both of the committees to review, and so you do have that again tonight, and I'm open for any suggestions or feedback that you might have. If there is none, I would, that's all I have for you, Chairman.
Okay, thank you.
Well, obviously, we talked about the one that, I already brought up the one about the exceptions, which is on page 6, needing to be approved by City Council and not just by the mayor, so that we don't go back to the same situation we were trying to avoid.
Right.
I would like to also bring up, so when it's under the setting base pay for new hires, I know one of the things that it says here is that we would take into consideration their experience, their education, and their credentials, and then those who have more than a job requirements could start higher in their pay range than those who meet job requirements. And I think one of the things that concerns me about this on its own, I don't have any issues with how this is written, but I do have concerns as it relates to existing employees, since all of our existing employees would be are being paid at the min. And so to me, having somebody come in off the street who may or may not have more or less experience than their peer, if all things being equal, they could conceivably be paid more than a person who has actually been here for anywhere between 1 and 19 years, because everybody at the 19-year and below mark was being paid at the minimum. And that is a situation that I brought up when we originally talked about this in December. And what I proposed at that time was that we do a multiplier based on years of service, so that, and I get that, you know, we wanted to make sure that we didn't show favoritism. And what we did was we applied something across the board equally, but we did not apply it equitably, because equitably would have taken into consideration people's years of service. And one of the biggest concerns that employees expressed to me in the many phone calls that I received is that years of service was not being taken into consideration. So if we implement this as it is written, which I don't have a concern with as it relates to that particular piece, it sets up a situation where there might be potentially animosity, potentially ire, potentially any number of feelings from our existing employees who have been here and actually served us for a lengthy period of time. And so if we implement this without rectifying that, we set ourselves up for more concerns later. And if we don't, and if we implement this without, if we implement this, if we just decide, well, we'll just deal with that later, that's fine. I'm going to continue to advocate for our employees because that's what I've been doing since December when it came up. I've been in this situation as an employee. I've been on multiple sides of this situation as an employee. I've been the employee who was paid more than my peers. I've been the employee who was paid less than my peers. And when I was the employee who was paid more than my peers, I still didn't like it because right is right. And doing right by everybody should be what we should be striving for.
I agree with you, and that's exactly what we did do, was work to do right by everyone, because we had people that were underpaid for decades. If you'll recall, since I've been here, we've made many wage increases because people were not being paid properly. The first thing that we did was get everyone up to the midpoint as they were promised under the previous wage study under the previous administration. Then the next thing that we did was work to get all of our department and heads and division heads up to an equitable and reasonable level. And then the third step was this one, because there were accusations from employees, and I think some were accurate, that under the previous wage study that there was favoritism, that there were people that were given some things that they shouldn't have gotten, others that were not given things that they should have got. We made sure that we were equitable. We worked to be as fair and objective as possible. And then the next step that we took is we did acknowledge longevity, maybe not all of the levels that you think that we should have. But there weren't suggestions as to additional equity or things at additional levels at that time. And what we did do is for employees who were here 20 years or longer, we provided them with a $5,000 increase, and those who had been here 30 years or longer with a $10,000 increase. So what I would say is we had taken many steps to make sure that people are paid fairly and equitably. There might be, if you're talking about people who have been here, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, yes, there's something that I think we could do there, and that's something that we absolutely should include and we should address in our budget.
And that is the thing that I've been advocating for since December. That was the reason why I say we did it. That was the reason why I suggested in December. And I had a conversation actually about it after the meeting with Comptroller Massey, because she stopped me on the way out and said, actually, I think that's a good idea. But I don't know what happened after that, or maybe you guys didn't discuss it, but I know I suggested it. So that's a thing that I've been advocating for. I know that's a thing that would be fairest to all employees, because like I said, having somebody who's been here 18 years versus somebody who's been here 1 being paid the same does not feel fair. I don't see how anybody would ever call that fair.
Right. What I can say again is that we work really hard to be objective and make sure that we get people up to the proper pay ranges, which is a huge step. I think Alderman Cooper has given me shown concern about the amount of raises that we've given, because nearly everyone is compensated drastically. Their compensation has been drastically improved over the last 5 years, particularly after this wage study. There were major improvements that were made so that we could make sure that we were competitive in the workforce. So all I would say is, don't disagree with most of what you say, but I would say that we've worked our tail off to make sure that we're fair and objective and to get people to at least the appropriate salary ranges. And if there are suggestions as to how we make adjustments to get everyone up where you think they ought to be, I would certainly welcome those.
And I have to agree with the vice mayor. I think if you're gonna put this on the table and you're gonna bring it, it needs to be complete. And it has to be complete with that. Because if not, it's gonna get kicked down the way and they're gonna forget, and you're gonna discuss it every 2 or 3 months, and it needs to be taken care of.
Absolutely.
So,
And we run the risk of also losing good employees.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So,
I guess what I'll say then is that as soon as possible, I would like any specific suggestions as to how you say that we compensate people appropriately.
Well, I would say, could we go back to the people who we paid $60,000 to give us a multiplier to tell us what would make sense? Because I'm not an HR professional, I'm not an HR director, but I'm a person who's been on the opposite side of this and seen it done. So if we paid these people, I believe it was 60, maybe it was more or less, I can't remember the exact number. Because at that time, I made that suggestion. I said we should do a multiplier that takes into account years of service. And if we paid them $60,000, then I would imagine that they could provide the research or the data or any HR professional organizations' insights on what should be done, as opposed to me going looking on Google.
Sure, I could ask them that question. We also, I will say that we, last week I brought to you people who did not have, whose job descriptions did not reflect what they were actually doing. There were a couple that I missed as well. I knew that in closed session that Council Parker was looking at me like, hey, Mayor, what about? And there are a couple of positions that I forgot, and there may have been one in police as well. So what I will do is I will bring all of that back to you. I'll bring back all of that back to you, and we'll continue to work on it until we get it right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You got something to say?
One of the points on what the vice mayor is talking about is you can get, because we put blocks and you're a certain number, if that person leaves as an 8, a 9, a 10, whatever, the next person coming in has to get that much. And you've got people who don't have years of experience, maybe don't have the same background. They might be a background of some other type, something appropriate. But you have to hire them at a certain rate now. Is the problem with this whole thing. You don't have any discretion on what a person coming into city government gets. They get X no matter what. And I think that's what ties us down as getting employed. I agree with we made equitable. All the changes we made, making the people we have now back up to where they are, I agree with that. I just fear that you're stuck with this and you're gonna have to pay people a certain rate, no matter whether they really think that or not.
So I guess I understand your point, but what I would say to you is that they gave us these salary ranges, and most of them I think are around a $30,000 range. So let's say, for example, a class 8, somebody could be making between $60,800 at the low and I think $92,000 at the high, right? So we do have discretion. That these were based on job descriptions and what the person is actually doing, not necessarily, and their ability to do whatever it is in that job description. So, whether a person has 10 years of experience or 1 year of experience or no experience, can the person do this job? If they can do this job, then they should deserve to get a certain minimum salary. We're not going to give them a maximum salary. It says that they have to be hired between the minimum and the median. And if we want to hire them before that, then what we'll be putting in there is that it has to come to you, the city council. So it does give a wide range. It's just like, this is a minimum that anyone who can do this job should be making. That's basically what it tells us. Is it giving us a minimum of where anyone who can do this job should start. And we don't necessarily hire someone back at the same level that another person was making. We usually, even before this, we'd start people more at the lower end of the range that previously existed. So we're not, it does still, I think that this allows us to do exactly what you believe we should be doing, because it's based on what is the job. I don't know.
It's still, I think the beginning may be really high for some of the positions. Some of the other ones, I know you have to be competitive with other governments, but some of them just seem beyond what they should have been. And I don't want to say we shouldn't pay the city employees, but someone starting new in a position in the city shouldn't be on one of the high range numbers, in my concern.
Well, I guess I would need to know specific positions that you think are too high in order to make any kind of adjustments.
And I don't want to do that in public.
Okay.
Well, this
I
is
would
a work in progress then.
Right.
So let's try to get it completed as soon as we possibly can.
So I have one question based on what you just said, Mayor, which is, it's based on people's ability to do the job. So does then experience and education not come into consideration?
It does come into consideration, and if a person has more experience or a higher degree, then they would be better compensated based on this administrative guide. But you have to have a minimum skill set in order to do this, and that's why there's a minimum pay level.
Do we have minimum experience and education requirements that people have to meet in order to be compensated at the minimum for every pay level?
We do.
Okay.
Any further questions for me on this or discussion? One of the most important things to me is to treat people well and to be fair, and I'm really proud of the strides that we've made in terms of compensation for our employees. I have to tell you, I was very disheartened to how things went after the recent wage study, because again, before there were so many complaints about unfairness and bias, and this person was liked and this person wasn't liked, so they got this big thing and that person didn't. So we used objective criteria, and many people were satisfied with that, and there were many people that weren't satisfied with that. All I can say in the long run is we'll continue to work to make sure that we pay our people fairly and equitably, so that we can recruit and retain good quality people to do the work that's needed for the city of Danville. We're going to keep striving to get it right. What I can tell you is, now from experience, no matter how we do it, not everyone is going to be happy, but as long as we can honestly say that we put our best foot forward to be fair and to do right by our employees, then I'm very proud of that.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Puts us item number 11, fire. Aaron Marcotte, Fire Chief, has a resolution 11A. Accept the assistance to firefighters AFG grant award number EMW 2023 FG 08007 and amend fiscal year 2024 through 2025 General Fund Fire Division 22 budget. I'll make the motion to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for your approval. I will need a second, please.
Second.
Is there any questions on resolution 11A?
Chairman, could you repeat that again for the record?
I can do it.
I'm just kidding.
If no questions, roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Teague,
Yes.
Alderman Williams,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Streving,
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes, the motion carries. Puts us to 11B, items of information and the monthly status report. Chief?
Yep, still relatively quiet, really. A lot of testing going underway. For the recruit testing, we're down to just the oral interviews left, which will be done in late August. We're sitting at 41 candidates currently, so pretty big increase from what we've had in the past few years. So hopefully those results will be out soon. Lieutenant's exam stuff still going on underway, so they're about ready to have their assessment center next coming weeks. Other than that, we did a lot of activities. It's kind of picked up for the summer. A lot of our community events have been picked up. Fires are down, which is good. It slowed.
You just
Just
I was
jinxed it
gonna
probably.
say, now we're.
It happens every time, you know that.
Well, the past 2 months, we've seen a kind of a heavy increase in number of calls. So we've gone from about a 350 average to 425 over the last 2 months. So overall calls are up. At least the fires are slowed down a little bit. So it's giving us a little bit of a break. Other than that, I have a semi-good truck update.
Oh, boy.
Semi.
But as I always say, I will not promise anything, but our salesman's headed down the 5th of August to do his final inspection, and that's when they're supposed to be ready. They'll call us down if that's the case, and our guys will go down there and look at it real quick, and they've agreed to ship them both to us from there for our troubles.
What was that date again?
August 5th. He's headed down there that day to pre-screen it for us, so, but we know the one sitting there ready to go, it just needs lettering, and then the other ones, they're finishing up the ladder work, so. That's really all I
Christmas is coming early.
Christmas is around the corner, as they say.
Unless there's any questions, that's all I really have.
Anything else for the chief? Any questions? Thank you, chief. Puts us to item number 12, human relations. Ms. Finch isn't here this evening, I don't think. And items of information, monthly status report. Mayor, what do you got for us?
Any questions for the Administrator Finch's report? Nothing for the
If no
chairman.
questions, thank you. Information technology, Agnel De Silva, Chief Technology Officer, items of information and his monthly report. Better put my glasses back on.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Chairman. Should have received the monthly status report. Are there any questions on that report? Okay, just to give you an update of what happened last week, fortunately for us, very small a number of systems were affected. Those are mainly because those were the CrowdStrike was put on the police MDTs by state of Illinois because of CJIS requirement. So it took us like approximately 5 hours between Sue Hill and Cody. They tried to get those up and running. So at 2 o'clock, at 2 a.m., I got a text message early morning saying that everything is falling apart. So I'm like, oh no. Then I see some tickets coming in from police. I'm like, this is not good. So, but I looked at our other systems, everything was fine. So about a year ago, I made the decision to discontinue CrowdStrike because there were some things were not right with that company. And as soon as I found out about that, I'm like, no, this is not good for our system. So we changed our approach to a zero trust way so that the cybersecurity tools that we use, they're not too intrusive, like trying to do a lot of things with Microsoft operating system. That's what happened. It totally brought down the entire world pretty much. So with this new strategy, what it does is we basically lock down all computers and then we only allow what needs to go in. So we do it in a controlled fashion. So that way, anything like this would happen, it won't affect our system. So thank God we did that, and appreciate your support on all the approvals for getting new tools to keep everything up to date. So I've been hearing from other peers and agencies that they're still struggling trying to recover from this. And the thing is, the state of Illinois signed a huge contract with CrowdStrike, and they deployed this to all cities, counties all over Illinois. And that was a nightmare that Friday. I've been hearing people struggling with it. But if you imagine with companies with 5,000 or 10,000 computers, it would take them days and weeks to recover. And I believe a lot of manpower, you see with the airlines and stuff, they're not able to keep up. So I just want to give you that update. Are there any questions or concerns?
We have one of the premier IT administrators in the country and in the world, and an excellent IT team. And I just want to say thank you to Cody and Sahil for all of their middle of the night work to get us back where we need to be, and Agnel for always being amazing and making sure that we're taken care of. It makes a big difference. We appreciate you.
Thanks for your support, Mayor. Thank you all.
It kind of makes a difference too when you bring us something and most of us don't know what you're talking about. we had to put our trust in you.
I try to explain.
And over the years,
in terms as possible.
over the years, you've been great to us. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All to you and all your team.
Thank you.
Okay, puts us to 14. Legal, Leon Parker Corporation Counsel. 1114A, we have an ordinance amending chapter 118.060 through 118.065 of the city code pertaining to child care facilities. I'll make the motion to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for your approval. I will need a second, please.
Second.
Is there any questions on 14A's ordinance? Yes, Vice Mayor.
I am curious as to why we are changing this ordinance now. I am assuming, based on what was struck through, that we're leaning more to the state, but maybe that might not be right. So just.
That's correct. Our child care facilities are still required by the state and to have a license and be inspected, and so it was really just duplicating that by requiring a city license. And with this amended ordinance, they're still required to have inspections by our fire department, and we'll still receive monthly reports from the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services. So they're still going to comply with all state requirements.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for corporate counsel on 14A? If not, roll call, please.
Alderman Williams?
Yes.
York?
Yes.
Cooper?
Yes.
Pickering?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Teague?
Yes.
Streebing?
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Puts us to 14B, items of information, and his 14B1 is monthly report.
So you have the figures for July of this year. I will add that we've got a group of dedicated inspectors and office staff, and we've really worked very hard along with Public Works and Community Development to address various needs in the community, dilapidated structures on down to grass and weeds, and getting yards mowed, and getting some structures repaired, which is our objective. So, if you have any questions.
I got one.
Yes.
The rental inspectors, they've started, haven't they?
They have, yes.
What's the process on that? I mean, what's the guideline? How are you going to operate that? Because it's new.
Right. So we've developed a checklist for them. We've got them working with our other code inspectors. We've got it set up to where renters can call in, and we now have someone that can go out and address various complaints with their housing, and we are setting it up so they can slowly but surely get to all of our rental properties and inspect them for habitability.
You have a list of rental properties or the big violators clear down to the ones that aren't?
I'm sorry?
You have a list of rental properties that are the bigger violators than the ones that are not? Targeting certain.
Well, we're not targeting any specifically. We're just going through, all of them are going to be treated equally, but the contacts that we receive, we address them, and if they happen to be from any particular owner, we don't factor that in. We go where we receive the information, and we're going to go through and inspect each property.
If we get a call on a rental as an alderman, somebody complaining about a rental property, who do we call? You or the inspectors, or?
Yeah, the inspectors.
I don't know if we got their number, do we?
Corporation Counsel can email that to you, their numbers.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So are we able to start implementing our new rental ordinance then?
It's already implemented, but we're still training the inspectors
That's
to
what I
make sure
meant.
that they are effective, and we're not setting them up or ourselves up for failure.
That's what I meant. We haven't
Yes,
really
ma'am.
got them to that point yet.
We're getting close, but not
Okay.
quite there yet.
That was my question. Thank you.
Vice Mayor, question?
Eve had her hand up first.
Eve?
Oh, okay, under the total violations for the prior month, warnings. So I just want to make sure that I understand. So north area, you say 1, because that's what it's called. South area is 3, east area is 4, west area is 2. And so the number of warnings that are issued is after the dash. So under tickets, you have north area 0, south area 0, east area some kind of parentheses, and west area 2. So there's 2 tickets that were issued, is that correct?
Two $50 tickets,
And
yes.
then under the $100 tickets, north area 0, south area 1. So then under total, you have warnings of 46, which I totaled that up, that's right. But under fines, would that not be 3? Or did I miss something?
No,
Whereas west area 2, because under warnings it says west area 2, and then under tickets for $50, west area 2, maybe that was supposed to be a 0 or a 1?
No, I believe west area is 2, south area 1, and I believe you have caught my math. It should be 3.
Okay, thank you for the fines. 3, okay, thank you.
Any other questions for corporate counsel? Yes. Vice Mayor?
So if a renter has a complaint, our formal, and I should know this as many months as we spent on it, our formal complaint process starts where?
With a complaint comes in, and we have the 2 rental inspectors, and one of them will go out, contact that individual, set up an appointment to visit their residence, and then they have a checklist. They'll address their complaints, and then go through the checklist and inspect the home.
So the citizens are to call the inspectors directly? That's what I'm really trying to get at. Like, what do we tell our citizens when they have a complaint? Are they supposed to call legal department? Are they supposed to call Sandra? Are they supposed to call the inspectors?
The inspectors.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, my question actually kind of follows Vice Mayor Teague's. Is there a mechanism online on our city website for that? Because I think that would be the route that would be the smartest and the most effective to make a formal complaint, because then as alderman, I can say to somebody, okay, go to the city website on this location, because that's something we have not had in place, and that might be something very good. And I'm very impressed by our website. I've been using it a lot, and I think that's a great place to start and direct people to.
I think that they may be able to do it on our reported app, but we can verify that. Our Operation Council can verify that.
Because then
for
that
you.
information just flows right to,
That's how it is. It goes right out to whoever is responsible.
Exactly.
Well, when they put their phone numbers out, they're gonna have to give their cell phones, because I get phone calls that I've tried, and I've tried, and I've tried. So I'll make a phone call and get them through their cell phone and take care of the situation, but sometimes these people are going for 3 to 5 days trying to get a hold of them.
I gotcha. And then, because my point would then be, there may be a mechanism like email, because I like to use email because then I have a history. You know, I can say, well, I contacted you on this date and I didn't get a response. And so then that kind of helps hold people accountable as well.
But you have to realize, everybody out there doesn't do computers.
No, and I understand, but a lot of people do. So,
I mean, when we went to the automatic billing on the garbage and everything, I mean, the people that I seen down here, and just standing there with them, listening to it, a lot of them didn't know how to turn the computer on or off.
I understand that. I deal with that on a daily basis in
Yeah.
my professional, position. So.
Okay.
And I just want to add to what Alderman York said, and I feel like for those who do use computers, yes, we can send them, and for those who don't, if we have a mechanism in place for someone who might just pick up the phone and call because they're in the age demographic that that's what they do, or they show up because they're in the age demographic that that's what they do, we can still institute our systems, our online systems, and put that information in the system so that all the information is in one place.
I can tell you that Mona and most of the office managers, office personnel do just exactly what you said. That way we do have a record of it too, of when it was reported and such.
I can confirm that's what Public Works does. Anything that anybody calls in, if you were at home and you put it in on the reported app, or you call in, the people that are answering the phone are literally sitting at their computer with the reported app open and type it in so that no records get lost. Everything's time stamped, and there's a traceable record for everything that happens. So,
And yeah, I also think that's good because those investigators or those inspectors, sorry, the inspectors are very busy. They're out in their field. They're doing their job, and that's why we can't reach them. But then if we have that electronic process, that's going to help them as well. So.
And Chairman, I understand your point. I would encourage you not to give out the inspector's cell phones, because then when they're out doing their follow-ups and they get a million calls and people expect them to answer right away, Corporation Counsel and I will talk with the fellas about making sure they check their office voicemail more regularly.
Okay.
And then if they do have an issue, then they can follow up with you, that just so that we can make sure that they can keep working, that they can keep working.
That's fine, that's fine.
And we're putting all the information into our computer database. So once they inspect a property, they know when that's been inspected and move on to the next. They enter in all the information from any complaints that we receive.
And then that also becomes a history per each residence, and you can look back and say, hey, this was 5 years ago, this is what happened, or it really helps the process. So.
And I don't think that anybody thinks that people aren't following processes internally. I think that people are just unclear on where to start with the process. And we have a lot of misinformation through no one's intention that says, oh, call this person or call that person, because that's what we've always done. And that might not be the right way anymore. So I wanted to make sure, I think we all just want to make sure that it's clear to the public and that we're clear to the public on this is what you should be doing. Especially now that we have positions that we've never had before to be able to resolve issues that we've never been able to resolve before. And I just also have to say I'm so excited and happy that we finally have rental inspectors.
Amen.
I imagine Ms. Finch is happy too. Really.
She is.
She was taking the load of a lot of it. So.
Absolutely.
Yep. Any other questions for Corporate Counsel?
Yeah, I have one question. Houses that have been destroyed by fire and are now vacant, what's the process of getting these properties removed and cleared up? Someone answer that?
Yeah, I can. So there's a couple of different routes, but the most common that occurs is if fire has destroyed the property. Typically, the city does engage with the homeowner to see if they have homeowner insurance. That's item number one. Item number two, if it's dangerous, the city will declare a dangerous structure to the public and make sure it's on the ground, so there is no danger to the public. Second, there will be a case put against the property. Typically, most fire structures that we're seeing are not burnt all the way to the ground. They're just what we call burned out. The windows are gone. They're unsalvageable. There will be a case against the property if the property owner does not demolish that property. And as you see in the city, this is quite frequent. Once it goes through its typical, let's just call it it's similar to a condemnation. It's unsafe. It's posted as unsafe. It goes through its court case. Typically, the hearing officer will give the city of Danville the right to demolish it if the owner does not take care of it. If there isn't insurance on the property, the city can recoup those funds. That does not always happen, but it does sometimes. And then we just demolish it. So it's a long process, just like a standard demolition process. It can go 6 to 8 months. It has to go through court. You have to get an asbestos survey. You have to abate the asbestos if it's safe to do so, and then demolition.
Yeah, I'm concerned about people going in these houses.
Yeah.
And there was no signs or anything to keep them out. They just bed down in those?
I will tell you, they are originally posted with a sign to post them condemned or uninhabitable. Did those signs make it very long? Probably not, but it is a crime to remove them.
Thank you.
Any other questions before we move on? All right, thank you. Puts us to item number 15, police, Chris Yates. Police chief, yeah, items of information, his June 2024 offense data report, and 15A2 is year-to-date offense data report, and we won't be listening or talking about the uniform crime reporting, number 3. So, chief, it's up to you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions on the material we put out? Seeing the similar trend, violent crime and things that we can detain people for and make arrest. We like the direction it's going. The other things, not so much. Any questions, comments on that? Okay. Little information. We have 3 officers in field training. They're doing very well. We expect that they will be out on their own sometime in September. We have 3 officers in PTI. The reports that I'm getting from PTI as well as their scores, they're doing very well. We just presented a conditional officer or a conditional offer to an officer candidate. He accepted. It's pending psychological and medical exam, and he'll be sworn in at the end of August, and then be leaving, I think, September 3rd or 4th, day after Labor Day, to PTI. The group that we have in PTI, they graduate August 22nd. Crime intel analyst that we hired about a month or so back is actually progressing beyond our expectations, getting additional training and certifications. This is going to put us very much ahead. The benefits it provides to our investigators as well as our officers on the street, as far as data-driven policing as well as intelligence associated policing is very valuable as far as making it much more efficient as well as effective. We have a major event I'd like to announce that we're having this weekend over at Friendly Town in collaboration with OSF. It was based off the kids' health and exercise. So we're having a mini marathon Saturday from 10 to 2, as well as a fun day. We'll have a football, we'll have soccer. We're also partnering with a gentleman that's recently moved in our community from California, and he represents a company out there that uses athletics as a vehicle of education. Really neat guy, getting to know him very well, and I think he'll be involved in a lot of stuff with us in the future as well as other city events. We have August 3rd, there's a back-to-school event with a local church that's going to be held out at Friendly Town. October 26th, there's going to be a trick-or-treat event, and we're looking for people to get involved in a RC Grand Prix race event out there. I'd like to see someone set it up. I don't know anything about it, so if you know anybody, send them my way. We're also utilizing different partnerships in the community as far as being the venue, using the Police Community Training Center, and that's going to be going on. The reason why I'm bringing up Friendly Town is because of the expenditures and time that we've had out there, as well as the investments that the community has made towards it. We normally see 80 to 120 kids out there every summer. Over the last 10 years, we're approaching 400 at this point. We have one more class, and that doesn't include all the kids that we have out there throughout the week. Anytime we have people out there volunteering, we'll open up the gates, we'll have kids come out and play. It's been pretty neat. Alderman Cooper, we got your radar speed signs in. and they'll be installed here shortly. I just sent out a request to Public Works. So. And that's going to be located on North Gilbert Street between Voorhees and Vermilion, or Winter, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Any other questions on that, comments?
Yes, Eve?
For the July 27th Friendly Town Mini Marathon event, what's the age range for the kids that can come out for that?
Anybody in grade school, all the way up to 8th grade, but our primary focus on the mini marathon is ages 5 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be a 5 and 6 group, age group, 7 and 8, and then 9 and 10. The fourth one will be for the kids that are slightly older and slightly younger. And we'll put them in, and just the older one has to run at the same pace as the younger one. And I haven't measured it out, but it's close to a mile. And so
it's not an actual mini marathon. We're just
Yeah,
giving it that
yeah,
title.
It's mini, but it'll be a lot of fun. And essentially what we're trying to do is get the kids to know different sports that they can play that doesn't require a lot of resources. Get them outside, safe activities that builds not only the mind but the physical, the body as well.
What's the best way for people to find out how to register for that?
They can, for the events other than the mini marathon, they can register online through our Facebook page. I think the city has it on their page. We got it. And Vermilion County First also put it out on how to register. You can. It's not going to be a problem if people show up the day of the event to register, but we're hoping the majority of them will register beforehand. Just for the race alone, I think we have from 40?
About 40.
40 kids, and I know a lot of kids that are doing it that haven't registered yet. So that's the best way. As far as the other events, they don't have to register at all. They just show up. And we'll go as we need to go as far as that goes.
Okay, thank you.
Chairman and committee, I have another point of pride, which he didn't mention to you, is that he's going to be the honored guest speaker at the graduation next month. He was invited to do so. And I think that'd be the first, if it's not the first time ever, it's the first time in decades that the Danville Police Department's been offered to give that. So congratulations and thanks, Chief.
Appreciate it.
Yep. No other questions for the chief. We'll move to item 16. Public Transportation. Steve White, Director, is here. 16A, we have a resolution approving an update to the FTA Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan, PTASP, regulation required by 49 CFR Part 673. I'll make the motion to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for your approval, and I'll need a second, and no, I'm not going to do it again.
Second.
Is there any questions on 16A's resolution?
Did we get a second, Chairman?
Yes.
But Alderwoman Ludwig.
Thank you.
Any questions? If not, roll call, please.
Alderman York?
Yes.
Cooper?
Yes.
Pickering?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Teague?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Streebing?
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes. Motion carries. Push us to 16B, items of information. Steve, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Chairman, for allowing me to bring this tonight. This was part of our triennial review from FTA. Last week, there was 2 findings, of which this will be the second one resolved. So thank you to Logan. That was the other one that we had to resolve when they were on site. The review went really well. Just happy with the results from my first one.
Okay, any questions for Mr. White?
Chairman, I also appreciate his leadership, and Director Beeth came back, former Director Beeth came back and helped us out to be sure things were smooth and just to do, so they did a great job. I only have 2 things, and to have them rectified immediately, that's pretty stellar.
Okay. Thank you, Director White. All right, puts us item number 17, Public Works. Dave Rui, Director. 17A, we have an ordinance approving the purchase of real estate for community improvement for 508 Ann Street. I'll make the motion to approve, dispense with the reading, and ask for your approval. I'll need a second, please.
Second.
Is there any questions on 17A's ordinance? Yes.
Chairman and Vice Chairman Pickering, might you be friendly to including item B since they're both for the same project area.
Yes, I do.
Okay, we can do A and B. You don't have a problem with that?
No.
Okay. John, did you have a?
No, I assume it's part of that plan.
Correct.
Then why the $11,000 increase all of a sudden?
It's a great question. We got within 2 or 3 days of closing on the property, since this has been to city council in the past. For all property acquisitions, we order title commitments well in advance, months in advance, to tell us are there back taxes, what liens, etc., are on the property. The property taxes were at that time listed roughly $500 a year of back taxes, about 2 to 3 years of it. So we programmed into the purchase agreement to pay for an extra $1,500 in property back taxes. Upon closing, we get title work, closing paperwork. They update the title commitment. I have no idea what happened, but the property taxes went up from $500 a year to over a 3-year span to $10,000. That's where you see that increase. So I wanted to program enough into this to make sure that we get this all taken care of on this closing. I have no idea, and I don't think I'll ever know why the property taxes went up that much. It just did.
Must have been a pretty good remodel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, any other questions on 17A and B ordinance? If not, roll call, please.
Alderman Cooper?
Yes.
Pickering?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Teague?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
York?
Yes.
Streebing? 7 yes.
And yes, the motion carries for both ordinances, thank you. Push to 17C, we have a resolution approving the amendment of resolution 2024-14, golf cart lease payment. I'll make the motion to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for your approval. I will need a second, please.
Second.
Is there any questions on 17C's resolution? John, do you have anything?
That's annual, isn't it?
Yeah, it's annual. That was previously approved, and I expected the bill to come in long before the end of fiscal year last year. So the fiscal year rolled over basically, so that money went into reserves. So this is basically an amendment to pull it back out of reserves to pay for it.
How long of a lease do you usually run?
So this is a 5-year lease, so 60-month lease.
Any other questions on 17C? If not, roll call, please.
Vice Chairman Pickering?
Yes.
Alderman Ludwig?
Yes.
Teague?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
York?
Yes.
Cooper?
Yes.
Streebing?
Yes.
7 yes.
Yes, the motion carries. Puts us to 17D. We have a resolution approving the amendment of Resolution 2024-44, asbestos abatement of 1238 Cleveland Avenue. I'll make the motion to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for your approval. I will need a second, please.
Second.
Is there any questions on 17D's resolution? Yes.
My only question is, I'm assuming, just based on the description you just gave, now after asbestos abatement, we'll be tearing the house down.
Yeah, so I will provide a complete explanation because it's a big number, and it'll ease some nerves on looking at the number. Essentially, this is just bad timing. It's what happens with these grants. You can't leave dollars or pennies left in them. You're going to run out of money, and you're going to have to pay it, in this instance, out of 310 to finish the grant. This is just a really big number that finished the grant. We ran out of money right before the payment of this abatement in the IDA SCP grant. So this was a property that the city already had control. We were already going to demolish it. It was going to be paid out of 310 initially. We just thought we could afford it out of Fund 712 IDA SCP. We ran out of money, had to come back to city council to change the line code. Yes, the abatement will be done, and yes, it will be demolished.
Thank you.
Any other questions on 17D? If not, roll call, please.
Alderman Ludwig?
Yes.
Teague?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
York?
Yes.
Cooper?
Yes.
Pickering?
Yes.
Streebing?
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes, the motion carries. Puts us 17E, items of information. Dave, you got anything for us?
Nope.
I asked the mayor here a week or so ago if you guys had planned on spraying any more out on the riprap.
Yep, that is programmed, should be coming. I think they were supposed to do it this past weekend. If they didn't, it'll be this Friday.
Okay, because it's starting to get pretty bad.
Yeah.
On both sides. All right, puts us to item number 18, closed session. I don't think there's any need for that this evening.
No, sir.
So item 19, items of information. Yes, John.
I got 3 questions, just simple. Any word on the mall? Can that be disclosed, or?
We will be, we should be hopefully making an update this week.
The Mission people, have you been any success with them?
They will be here on August 20th to update us.
And then the last one is Surefields on Vermillion. What's up with that?
No idea. I did see someone going in there who looked like a contractor last week, but unfortunately we haven't had any updates for a while on that project.
So don't know if it's still alive or?
I don't know for sure.
Okay, I've been asked a few times from people from the courthouse, so.
Yes.
Yes, is there any information on the Palmer purchase?
Not
Can you disclose it? I don't know.
Not at this, not at this time.
Pardon me?
Not at
Not
this
at
time.
this time.
Okay. Just curious.
Well, I do know.
I got a lot of money over there, so
I do know that we do not have a meeting next week.
Fair Fifth Tuesday.
Yeah, the 5th, so we got a Tuesday night off. We will meet back here on August 6th, full council, and the mayor will not be here, so vice mayor, it'll be up to you, dear.
all right, all right.
So,
I think we should, as the city, I just want to say this, and I meant to say this last Tuesday, be in prayer for the family of Christopher London, who drowned in the river last week.
yes.
Those are the worst calls whenever anything serious happens. It's major. The Chiefs call me. And yeah, all I could think about was those boys that were with him, his family, and those who loved him. And then I thought about how many times I've played in the river at Ellsworth Park with my nephews and how one step could have been the end. So our prayers are certainly with them.
Okay, and out the grotto, we started yesterday. The grotto will have the Ambucks out there for their 2-week summer fling out there. Both Wednesdays we give out boat rides. The people at the boat club, as well as the people at the grotto, are for the last 8-10 years that I know of, have been graciously bringing their boats and taking kids out for rides both weeks. This week it's the younger kids, and next week it's the older kids. So if you want to come out and watch some kids have some fun on boats, Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock. So, and with that, I don't have anything, any other comments from anybody. If not, taking care of everything we had in front of us on the agenda, I'll need a motion and a second for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.
Chairman.